How fast could your retirement get here if you didn't have any payments? Paying off debt will change your retirement timeline and your quality of life in your retirement. Debt that you thought you could afford while you were working is stealing your future and your ability to retire, or at least your ability to not have to work as much from this day forward. Debt hasn't always just cost you interest. Little did you know it was costing you time. Every payment that you have made, every payment that I have made, was that amount of money that could have been stacking up to get us out of the damn job faster. We were younger. We weren't quite as well wise, mature, and seasoned as we are now. But now you see what all the money you paid off in debt interest could have done for you at this stage of life. But here's the scary part, and listen up. Bringing debt into your retirement, it's going to steal, literally, the food from your mouth. It is going to cause stress and anxiety that you have probably never experienced, because the older we get, the less able we are to produce income that we're accustomed to pay this debt. And that level of stress, I have watched many a senior person crumble under. So let's take care of debt before we retire. We as Generation X, as women and men of a certain age, we've still got some time left in this career that we are currently working. We still have many years in front of us that we could continue aggressively, not just saving for retirement, figuring out what we need, living on a retirement budget, but getting daggum serious about taking care of the debt and showing it the door. Let's do it. So debt is going to inflate your retirement budget because you have got to have four walls. You've got to have power and heat and food and health insurance and probably a cell phone, because that's the forever phone we've got now. But then you're going to have a section in your budget of all of your monthly payments. And many of us, sadly, are paying minimum payments, of which 80% is the interest that they're charging us, and the rest is going to principal. So let's stop the madness. If you have not already begun addressing the debt in your life, we're going to start today. You have been brought to this channel to hear this message, if nothing else. Let's get rid of the debt before we take the step out the door into our next chapter. So debt is going to increase your monthly baseline. If you are starting to look at your retirement budget, and go now in the description for free, I've got a Master Your Money Plan budget for those of you who don't already know what your monthly needs are. For those that do, grab it anyway, and then go grab the Life Experiences to Income Streams workbook, also absolutely free, because many of us either aren't going to want to completely stop creating income because we enjoy it and we enjoy the challenge of staying on top of things and engaged and socially, etc. But a lot of us are going to have to keep working. There's no shame in that. We Gen Xers, we're reinventing the entire landscape of retirement. We're saying it's okay not to quit working if you don't want to, but even so, it is even better to continue working if you happen to need the money to make ends meet. We got to figure out where those ends are, where they meet, and what the gap is. Life Experiences to Income Streams workbook, go grab that. So for the remaining of the years we have to robustly work, and I mean robustly meaning the jobs we currently have, maybe picking up an extra one, a couple of extra ones, piece it together, but only you are going to know what size debt you have that needs to be paid off and what extra money you need to bring in now in order to attack it. We're not talking a second mortgage on the house to pay off debt. We're not talking going to a debt resolution specialist. You are your debt resolution specialist. You need to get this taken care of. You made the mess, you clean it up. Not all debt is created equal. There's consumer debt, student loans, car notes, stupid debt, okay? Then there's your house note. So let's take the house note out of the total debt equation for now. We want to get the consumer debt, the ones that are going to come knocking on your door because you've had to pay your health bill, your prescription bill prior to paying them. If you find yourself in some IRS debt or medical debt, put that with all the other debt. But for this conversation, you just simply need to know how much debt you've got. If you're serious about retiring sooner than later, and you know you've got debt, but you're willing to pull up your big girl panties, look it in the eye and say, I got this. Hold my beer. I'm going after this debt. Leave me a comment down below. We have got plenty of time left. If you're just getting started on this journey, maybe you've not saved the first dollar toward retirement, you can still retire with dignity. It may not be the retirement that somebody else dreamed about, but it's still going to be that next chapter of your life where you're going to have some Social Security. You're going to figure out what your living expenses are. We're going to work and pay off this debt to get it out the door. And then we're going to figure out what the gap is and how much you actually need to continue bringing in order to meet the gap. You're going to figure out today's expenses and start living on your retirement budget today. One, we want to make sure it's something that can actually be lived on. Two, if there's additional things that need to be adjusted and or tightened up, we can do that now. All right, so this is video 5 in a 7 video series. There's another one coming tomorrow. There was one that came yesterday. And if you're watching this in the future, welcome to 2026. I'm on the verge of becoming 28. No, wow, my goodness, add 40 years to that. No, don't add 40 years to that. Add 30 years to that. I'm on the verge of becoming 58. I don't know how old I am when you're watching this, but I'm sure I'm still around. Binge, everybody. Like, share, comment. You guys keep coming back. Stop recording.